Welcome to What Was Cooked, the show where you play detective and I play Gordon Ramsay, and together we argue with strangers in the comments. The premise is simple. I show you blurry, suspicious kitchen evidence, and you try to figure out the dish. Low budget? Yes. High drama? Absolutely. So, can you guess what was cooked? This is great advertising for Kettle and Fire. One lone spoon, a soldier left behind. CSI Miami would zoom on this for 5 minutes. You only get 5 seconds. Low and slow. Just like my grades in high school, and also the cooking speed here. Am I right? They look innocent, but I don't trust anything with a cork. Parmesan, always the understudy, never the star. We definitely have enough to nail this perp. Alright detectives, you've seen the mess. Onion peels, cheesy crimes, and a suspicious French baguette. Now it's your turn. Drop your guess into the comments. Maybe you're confident. Maybe you're like, this is definitely mac and cheese. Or maybe you just want to write beans and call it a day. Either way, I'm going to be going into the comments and silently judging all of you. And remember, half of the fun is arguing with strangers about food on the internet. So if you think you're right, congratulations, you have been drafted into the comment wars. Good luck. And all right, detectives, you got about 10 seconds before I reveal the answer. And once I do, there is no going back. So type it in, scream it, tattoo it, do whatever you have to do. And remember, we are playing for bragging rights. Here are the clues that should have led you to French onion soup. Let's start with the onions. Not one peel, not two, but a pile of them tossed in the trash. And on a chef's knife, a thin, papery residue. This tells us these onions weren't rough chopped, they were thin sliced. Thin slices means one thing: they were destined to cook down slowly, caramelizing into that deep golden brown that makes us the base of the onion soup. The note that read, "low and slow," wasn't just advice. This was the method. Now the receipt. 3 wines purchased, the Federalist, Chloe, and a bottle of sherry. Both reds were found later, unopened and untouched. But the sherry? Nowhere to be seen. This wasn't an accident. The sherry was not seen in the crime scene because it was used. Sherry is a classic choice for deglazing, used to scrape up the fond, those browned onion bits at the bottom of the pan, and they lock their flavors into the soup. Next came broth. Empty beef stock containers left on the counter told us what liquid filled the Dutch oven. And nearby, a bay leaf and a few sprigs of thyme. Wilted, discarded, their work finished. They'd done their part, simmering gently in a stock until there was nothing left to give. And black pepper sat next to them, confirming the final seasoning. Then we moved to the bread. A French baguette, sliced clean. This wasn't a side snack. In French onion soup, bread is dropped right into the bowl, soaking up the liquid and forming the base of the final layer. And how is it finished? Not baked, but broiled. A floury fingerprint on the oven controls told us the story. Broil, not bake. Flour, not sugar. And that same flour was earlier whisked in after the sherry, thickening the soup as it simmered. For plating, the soup went into a small oven-proof dish. Cheese was added, and not just any cheese. The grater on the island, paired with the Gruyere wrapper, told us the cheese that was used, Gruyere. And the quarter-empty tub of Parmesan in the fridge suggested it made the cut as well. Back under the broiler it went until the cheese melted, bubbled, and burned just slightly. We know this because the serving bowl still carried evidence. Scorched bits of cheese stuck to the rim. And the final detail, the spoon. Not a ladle, not a fork, a specific type of spoon that is commonly found with soup. Its shape told us exactly what kind of dish it had served. And what about the peanut butter? That was never part of the crime. The peanut butter belonged to the sandwich in the fridge, a red herring left behind to throw us off the trail. Put it all together and the case is clear. This was French onion soup. We can consider this case closed. And that's it, case closed. The French onion soup you have been dreaming of. Equal parts comforting, classy, and guaranteed to make your kitchen smell like onions for weeks. If you cracked it, congratulations, you are basically a culinary detective. If not, well, you can always pretend like you got the right answer correct in the comment section. I have no way of knowing. And before you wander off, make sure you hit subscribe and ring that little bell. It's basically like getting your detective badge, and without it, you are trespassing on a crime scene, and that's awkward for both of us. Now, if you're ready for another case, the trail doesn't end here. There are plenty of more episodes with more evidence, more clues, and way too much cheese. So go ahead and click the link at the end of this video and continue down the rabbit hole.